He knows where these doggone returns came from.
That's the problem.
That's the problem.
You know, it's just so mind-boggling. You're experts in this field, you've studied it, and you're coming forward and you're saying it, and it is your duty, it's your advocacy, and it is your responsibility to come out regardless. You may not have all the answers and the solutions at hand, but at least you're going to present the issues as they are.
May I say this?
Yes, yes.
It is the duty of the new president to find out what really happened.
Will any president question his winnings?
I don't know what he'll do.
If anybody wins,
But there is a
lottery or anything, you're not going to go back, can you check the numbers and see talaga ako ba nanalo nito? O hindi, hindi naman pwede, human nature yun eh. If I'm not mistaken.
There's a cloud on his proclamation. It's better to get it out.
Okay. And in fact, if he goes through the 6 years, there will always be a sword of Damocles, as they say. Are you really the one? Your particular question of who really won will always be on his head.
Did we get the message across to the public that there was electronic fraud? Do you believe I know people made mistakes. The COMELEC in particular, Smartmatic, of course, consequently. Is there electronic fraud? Are you convinced there's electronic fraud?
Yes.
It's not that way. There are protests from all over the country. It's
Yes,
not
I
for
know, I
much.
realize. We saw it on TV.
That's it, yes.
But basically local. How come every time Senator Enrile keeps asking, dinidiretso niya lahat? Give me your source, bigyan mo akong preba, wala nangyari, so tuloy na naman.
Okay, ganito yan. Hindi ba indicator, and for those who are really done computer systems, first indicator mo, simple. The number of voters that was registered in the House server was 253 million voters. Isn't that a...
Sobra na eh.
Yeah? Okay. Now,
I found that amusing actually. I started
right, but
listening.
that's very serious. Because if you are the one who developed the system, and you saw that.
Sagot nun, mali lang yun eh. Remember? Sagot
Hindi pwedeng mali yun eh. Mali yung numero, pero mali rin yung programa. At kung mali yung programa mo...
May sagot sila Rizabal dyan, si Commissioner Rizabal.
We can discuss that.
Yes, yes.
I have installed systems in the Philippines since 1966. Okay? Pag mali yung data na nandoon, na 253, hindi mo pupuntahan yun at papalitan mo ng 50. Titignan mo yung programa, kung saan nanggaling yun. Kasi kung mali ka sa programa, baka may apekto yun eh. Yung registered voters. Yung boto. Baka 5 beses din binilang.
Gano'n nga nangyari eh.
Precisely, that's what I'm
And
saying.
even then, the figures still don't count because dapat 37 million votes lang ang maximum eh.
That's the point that we're saying. Isn't that an indicator? Anybody who have written programs, talk to the banks. They will never accept any system like that if 1 centavo is missing.
1 centavos. Siyempre, because it's not complete eh.
Precisely. I work with 2 banks. Gen Bank, forerunner of Allied Bank, and Citibank. Okay?
This is getting to be very interesting. We're going to have to take a short break. The situation we're in is, in this first segment, we brought out exactly what was wrong. Electronic fraud, the system COMELEC and or Smartmatic utilized for this election, the automation. The issues that continue to hound us, questioning what was against the Constitution and what was against the law. The principles are basically the acts and everything that followed na hindi naman tama kasi ganito dapat sinasabi ng batas, hindi naman natin nasusunod. Now, we've discussed all of this as much as you've heard a lot of this in the canvassing in the last 2 weeks. When we come back, we'll start to question now the other issue which is confronting us. Of course, it seems like it's passé or tapos na kasi we've declared the President and Vice President. What can we do? What should we do? How should we address this? And how do we correct this? Either that or, gee, this is going to make Hello Garci look like it's a non-issue whatsoever. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Otherwise, we just have...
Okay, we're back and our topic is who really won. Alam niyo po, parang nakakapagod pakinggan itong mga topics na ganito, pero alam niyo po, the reason we are doing this is because it is evident that there seems to be a problem with the conclusions now after the election, meaning the system that was used. Ang nangyayari dito, I guess the next question, or maybe a better title would be, is there a conspiracy to exactly what happened, the consequential effect of one after the other? Ang nangyari, di ba? First, the COMELEC, nagmamadalian. The budgets which came in just about a year before last. And then nagmadalian, pumasok yung sistema na Smartmatic came into game. And then the fumbling one after the other. The law that followed suit that kept allowing it to fumble. Parang there was a connivance, if not a convenience. And then right into the elections, and even when it was happening, even before we got the electronically midnight or quick solutions or supposedly mabilis na mga lumalabas na mga nanalo, nagsabay na yung media. Ano ito? Sabay-sabay. Lahat parang may gumawa. Totoo kaya ito? We have with us another guest who's joined us. We have Mr. Adolfo Paglinawan. Hello, Ado, and
Hi,
thank you for
hi.
being here.
Thank you.
Gentlemen, where are we then? Kung gano'n nangyayari, ano ito? May conspiracy? Is that what you're trying to tell us?
Yes.
How do we tell this to the Filipino people? I mean, one, as a bagay, what you're saying, just because it's wrong doesn't mean it becomes right. If it's wrong, it's wrong. Tama, tama. Kung ito sinasabi natin, mali. That's what you're saying. So, is there a conspiracy? Is what the proof that's being brought to us parang gano'n ang lumabas?
Ask the people.
But the people are the ones who are the people behind it.
Ask the people all around the country. They're all screaming that there's a conspiracy. Ang sumbong nila, binabaliwala.
Oh, parang noted.
Yeah.
Ayun na naman, balik na naman tayo doon.
Equivalent of noted.
So, the foreign communities, those who observe, the foreign observers, are they all in agreement, are they in unison saying there was a problem?
Yes,
assessment.
They're even worse. Some observations of other foreign observer groups are saying that the elections were dishonest, not fair, and not equitable.
I saw some of them talking on TV saying that. I've said
Yes.
that many of the interviews of the foreign observers.
However, it is global Filipino nation's contention, and it's based on the technical aspects and on the legal aspects. And in
So the
effect,
facts, bare facts.
Precisely. And this was provided to those who have commissioned the global Filipino nation in doing the foreign observance. Now, the point is, how can it not be a conspiracy, okay, when all of these things that were said at the start, it's there, suddenly, one by one, before the elections, was suddenly being removed, okay? And then, immediately,
All the safeguards.
then all of the safeguards were removed, and then later they will say the reason for this is like this. There was no announcement, there was no basis. In fact, their claims are all lame excuses to justify why they have to remove this. But they have not justified to you the implications of such an aspect. Number one, on the legal basis. Number two, authenticity of your returns. Number three, the impact of the canvassing, of the certificates of canvass. How can you base a proclamation on certificates of canvass whose source cannot be
Is Congress part of this conspiracy, being the last role that was played out just the last week?
This is not a government of laws, as we were taught, no? This is not a government of laws. This is a government of the Congress of the Philippines.
I always say that there's only one mafia in the Philippines called Republic of. But yes, okay, Mr. Paglinawan.
What stakes here is basically the government agency that has made all the exemption from the law is not qualified or empowered to do such exemption from the law. And this is the COMELEC. Only the Supreme Court should interpret the law in a manner where exemption should
Doesn't
be
the
provided.
COMELEC have that independence, being an independent institution? You know, we only have 5 real institutions that are totally independent based on checks and balances. The legislative, of course, the judiciary, and the executive being the president. You have the Constitutional Commission and definitely the COMELEC.
COMELEC.
But don't they have the independence when it comes to situations like this to act accordingly?
They're not independent from the law.
Yeah, the problem is
Bagay, no? Labag sa batas. Pag
Labag
sinabi,
sa
labag-labag
batas.
pa rin.
Lahat yun.
Oo, lahat yun.
the letter of the law specifically provides for, among other things, 2 important components: the digital signature and the verifiability of the results. And this were changed overnight by the COMELEC.
There was that issue just yesterday going all over the arguments over the canvas of statements or something, statement of canvas reports, di ba? If there's a problem with the COC, there